Simon was saying that a lot of people are losing touch with the importance of having real life in-person friendships, especially since the rise of social media. And I think it's really, really important to have a balance, to pursue your dreams and to reach for the stars, but to not let it consume you, and to be intentional about loving the people in your life and about building strong bonds and relationships. You don't have to continue to go through life on your own. You can work through those things that are obstacles, that are that have made you close off, and you can meet people that want to share with you and love you. And it might take therapy, it might take a lot of other work that you need to do, but it's very, very doable. Hi community, welcome back to A Cupful. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Welcome to the first episode of season 6. I am so excited for all of the topics I'm going to cover in the coming season. I have also decided to add a little bit of a twist to things. I don't know if it's so much of a twist. The original plan was to do audio and video for the podcast, and unfortunately that's not going to happen just as yet, because technical difficulties that are ongoing and that are going to take a while to fix, I want to say. So yes, had a camera, had the plan, had the whole thing that I was going to execute, but that is not going to work for the time being. That's why I'm choosing to call them ongoing technical difficulties. When that's fixed, then I will be able to get into that. But for now, I'm just going to do bonus episodes every first week of the month and every last week of the month. I don't want to overwhelm myself too much or bite off more than I can chew. So I am committing to doing 2 extra episodes a month. And I'm very much looking forward to that. But moving on to today's episode, I know that we are at the end of the year pretty much. It's October, and a lot of the information that you're going to be seeing from this point until December is maybe until the beginning of December, I want to say, because December's holiday time is finishing strong, making sure that you are still getting your bag, working hard, doing the most. And while I can appreciate that it is good to encourage people to do their best and to work hard towards the things that they want, I do sometimes get worried that as a people, we are focusing less and less on the really important things and more on the unimportant things. Now, because of we live on Earth and we need to survive, we need money to do that. I understand that people would want to work hard and create comfortable lives for themselves even, but the world is just becoming more and more materialistic, and we are not talking enough about what not having people to enjoy those things with can do to a person, or what working and not working towards building and making money and having all of these material things, but not having people to share them with. And I'm not even talking about getting married, having kids here. I'm talking about cultivating relationships with your loved ones, because there is a cost. It's very important to remember that there is a cost to constantly working, constantly dedicating your time to making money, to achieving all of your goals and dreams, to breaking the glass ceiling of whichever industry you're in or whatever you are pursuing. There is a cost. And I know that everything in life has a cost, but specifically in this instance, when it comes to relationships, when you are busy dedicating your time to making the money and solely focusing on your dreams and not balancing things out and making time for your people, then you are going to end up alone, and you'll have all these things, but you won't have anyone to enjoy them with. And this episode, it also came about when I was really thinking about how I want to talk about it. It was also influenced by a video that my friend sent me. A friend of mine sent me a video where a gentleman named Simon Sinek, I hope I pronounced his surname right, and Trevor Noah sat down and had a conversation about friendship and pretty much pouring into friendship and being intimate in your friendships. And Simon was saying that a lot of people are losing touch with the importance of having real life in-person friendships, especially since the rise of social media. It can very easily get to a point where you start living your life online and you make the people that are following you, or the people that you are following, your friends. And you end up then thinking that that's enough also, but it's not. We need real life, in person intimacy with our loved ones. And so, in today's episode, I really wanted to talk about building, budding, and beautiful friendship or friendships. One thing that we can control is who our friends are. And this decision can either make our lives so much richer and beautiful or more stressful and disappointing. And I think it's really, really important to have a balance, to pursue your dreams and to reach for the stars, but to not let it consume you, and to be intentional about loving the people in your life and about building strong bonds and relationships. Because also, yeah, being able to afford that, I don't know, 5,000 Rand blanket, even though I think that that's absurd. I'm never spending 5,000 Rand on a blanket. Being able to spend 5,000 Rand on a blanket, maybe it's a Louis Vuitton blanket. I can imagine that if there is such a thing, then it's very warm, it's very comfortable, it feels very luxurious. Great that you can get that for yourself, but that's not something that's going to be able to comfort you when you are in actual pain, when you are experiencing loss, when you are grieving, when you are experiencing a big milestone. That's not something that can celebrate that with you. And so we need to really prioritize friendship in our lives. And it can be with one person, it can be with 2 or 3 people. If you are fortunate enough, it can be a group where all of you have come together, same values, same desires to build friendship and build community. Then that's great. That happens as well. But it's really important for us not to forget the important things in life. And one of those things is relationship with the people in our lives, with family, with friends, even romantic relationship. You can go as far as talking about that. But in today's episode, that is not what we're going to be looking into. We're talking about building friendship and maintaining those friendships. And I know that people will argue that I'm fine, I don't have friends, I'm fine, I'm doing great. And I don't want to be the person to say that's not true, that's false, and force people to agree with me when I say that we need each other in life, because some people, they believe that they're fine, they don't need other people, that they can do life on their own. I'm not a psychologist, but I've done enough research to be able to say a lot of the times that's a coping mechanism, that is a way to escape, that is a way to deflect, because some people have been hurt by previous friends, they have had people break their trust that they considered their friends, they have experienced a lot of friendship hurt in other ways where maybe a lot of their emotional or mental needs weren't being met and they were the only one that was present in that friendship. Other times it goes beyond friendship, that a person has had to fend for themselves for as long as they could possibly remember. They don't particularly have a loving family, they don't have support from their family, there wasn't that foundation created or laid down that gave them the assurance that people are good and that people can want to be around you without wanting anything from you. So sometimes it's hurt that comes from a person's childhood, and they've sort of learned to be able to cope and adjust to being alone, and so they just believe that it's okay, they can go through life alone. But I want to say to you, it's not okay. And it's not true. You don't have to go through life alone. And of course, you would have to work through all of those hurdles and all of those walls you have had to build over the years of self-dependency and all of that. But it's very possible to make friends with really good people who want to love you and who want to support you and who want to take care of you. I cannot speak on lacking support and not having love and having to fend for myself and just being alone. I don't understand, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. And I don't want to speak on something that I don't have a proper understanding of. But I do want to encourage anyone that has had to be on their own for long that you don't have to continue to go through life on your own. You can work through those things that are obstacles, that are sort of that have made you close off, and you can meet people that want to share with you and love you. And it might take therapy, it might take a lot of other work that you need to do, but it's very, very doable. So friendship is very, very important. Having people in our lives is important. We are living in a time where we are the most isolated people. The numbers are staggeringly high. These generations, millennials, Gen Zs, very, very lonely people who rely on social media for connection, for friendship. But we need that in-person, real-life thing. And let me tell you why friendship is important. Having solid friendship is important for two main reasons. Well, I'm speaking on these two main reasons, but there are various other ones as well. First, they make life more enjoyable, and we get to share the beautiful aspects of life with people who we love. And that can really enrich our everyday experiences. And secondly, our friends help us through the difficult times. Having friends to support us through hard times can make unimaginably difficult situations seem more tolerable in hard times. And I just cannot agree more. Friendship has, in many, many ways, changed my life, changed my heart, changed my perspective. It has made me feel safe, heard, seen, cared for, protected, understood. And so, of course, I'm going to advocate for it, but also science speaks on it, that it's important to be in real life, pure, good, healthy connections with other people. I recorded an episode in the previous season under within a series that I did on love. I called it Love in the 20s, and I covered romantic love, friendship, and self-love. And if you go back and listen to that, please go back and listen to it. I'm going to link it in the show notes. I found some research. We need each other for survival. We need each other, and it helps curb getting all sorts of diseases like heart disease and just having issues with your health. Rather, it helps curb health issues. It makes you feel loved. You grow emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There are opportunities for so many beautiful things to happen in friendship. So I go into a lot more detail when it comes to what science says about it. So please definitely go and check that episode out if you haven't yet. But there's also a lot of value in investing in good friendship, and I speak of the value in that episode. And here I'm just going to briefly talk about what I've seen friendship, the value of friendship, what I've seen friendship do, and why you should be looking into creating stronger bonds or making new friends even. So it gives us a sense of belonging. You feel loved, like I said, that being wanted, seen, heard, specifically in healthy friendships and healthy companionship in terms of friendship. when you are expressing yourself and your friend hears you, or your friends hear you, and they pay attention to your love languages, for example, and they pay attention to even facial expressions and how you look when you are really happy and excited, and how you look when you are sad, and how you sound when you're happy, and how you sound when you're sad. And the thing with that kind of intimacy is that you can tell that a person is being intimate with your friends like that, and really showing yourself to your friends like that, obviously in a safe space where you feel safe enough to do that. It gives your loved ones, your friends, an opportunity to really be there for you. They know when you're okay, they know when you're not. And even when you try to pretend that you're okay, your friend will be like, there's something wrong. I'm coming over. There's something wrong. I'm calling you now. Let's talk. And so that really will give you a sense of, oh my goodness, I'm really wanted here. I'm really loved. That's that sense of belonging. It builds our confidence and self-esteem. I don't want to lie. Being heard and seen, loved, and appreciated and affirmed has built my confidence and my self-esteem. I quickly just want to say that there is nothing better than hearing, okay, there are a lot of other better things, but in this context, there is nothing better than hearing your friend tell you, you're so beautiful, you're so smart, you are really good at this, you should pursue this, you are a genius at this, your mind blows me away. Hearing those kinds of things, that is, it just will do wonders for you. It's done wonders for me. And I'm so grateful for friendship. I'm very much so grateful for friendship. I think that specifically, I'm speaking from my own experiences, because I have not really had very close friendship with a man, but specifically friendship with women for me. Even in the past, there are some people that I'm not friends with anymore, but they've contributed to building my confidence and my self-esteem, and giving me that sense of belonging. So I'm grateful for friendship overall. It also helps prevent health problems like high blood pressure and heart disease. Like I said before, being in community, being with other people, we are created. God made it so that we would need each other, that we would need to rely on one another, and that's exactly what this is. It that reliance on each other, having people around you, it contributes to optimizing your well-being, your health. It combats social isolation and loneliness. Of course, when you have people around you that love you, you're not going to have to isolate yourself, and you won't be lonely. And this actually can very easily happen in unhealthy relationships, in friendships rather, unhealthy friendship, where you have not come together under the right intentions, or you are unequally yoked in that friendship, where you feel lonely and you feel isolated. So it doesn't mean that just because of you have quote unquote friends, that you won't experience isolation and loneliness. It is about what kind of friends you have, the kind of people that you have as friends. Are these good people? Are these people that want to be there? Does this mean something to them? Or is this just like whatever? Is this just for Instagram pictures and TikTok views and just the aesthetic of things, right? It helps us grieve the loss of loved ones and family members. It provides emotional support when romantic relationships don't work out. I can absolutely speak on this one 100%. When I was going through a breakup last year into this year, my friend, and we've gotten so much closer as well, she was just there for me. She has continued to be there for me. She has continued to hold my hand and affirm me and love me and just pour into me. So for me, in that case, absolutely, that emotional support, it has made the world's difference. And I can positively say as well, it has helped me really work through the breakup in very, very healthy ways. So I'm really grateful, again, so grateful for friendship. It motivates us to reach our goals and try new things. In healthy friendship, you are going to be pushing each other to be better people and pushing each other with love, with kindness. You're not going to want to humiliate your friend. You are going to want to see them become the best version of themselves each and every day. Bring humor to our lives. A good laugh with your girlfriend. A good laugh with your girls. That will always just do it for me as well. And it's just an unmatched feeling. You experience again that sense of belonging when you're like, oh, people want to laugh with me. People think that I am good enough to be in this space with them. They want to share with me. And these are the things that also deepen that intimacy within the friendship, where you are able to share different parts of each other: happy, sad, excited, annoyed. You can talk about funny things, you can talk about everything, really. It helps us leave unhealthy habits behind. Like I said, healthy friendship wants you to be the best version of yourself, and a good friend will tell you when you are shooting yourself in the foot, when you are self-sabotaging. So yeah, those are just some of the values of friendship. And friendship can enrich your life in countless ways. Good friends teach you about yourself and challenge you to be better. They encourage you to keep going when times get tough, and they celebrate your successes with you. They help you build community. They are your community. They form part of your community. And I also found something that said, having strong social ties can also decrease feelings of loneliness. I mentioned this, and evidence shows that it can also take a toll on your longevity, right? One study found that the risk of mortality increased by a whopping 91% among socially isolated people. A 2023 systematic review and meta-analysis found that social isolation increased the risk of mortality. Yikes. Social isolation and loneliness are linked to a variety of health issues such as high blood pressure, substance abuse, heart disease, and even cancer. And I know also that you might be wondering, how am I going to find people that I can be in real connection with, people that are going to love me and care about me and want me, and people that are not going to hurt me like the last person hurt me, or that are not going to humiliate me and want the best for me. Especially because I'm an adult, right? Might be thinking that maybe that's something that has gone through your mind as you're listening to this episode. I know that making friends as an adult can be murky waters to navigate, sticky, and I know that it's just not as easy as when we were in primary school or high school or even in university, at the beginning of university, because now we've gotten older and we are all focused on very different things and just got a lot of commitments as well. But you have a longing for friendship. You want to make new friends. And maybe also, it could also be that the friends that you had in university, maybe you've had to part ways, or you have outgrown some of those friendships, but you still want friendship. Where you're going to find these people? There are a lot of places to find these people. I will say, before giving you tips on where to look, I'm going to say that you need to open your mind and open your heart. That's a very, very important part of all of this, that you see the value in friendship and that you understand why you want what you want and what it is exactly that you want, and then be committed to going into spaces and actively talking to people. And yeah, again, murky waters to navigate as an adult, murky waters to go through as somebody who is grown and is wants companionship but is also closed off to making new friends. That's going to be an issue. You need to open your heart. You need to say to yourself, I want this. And sometimes it's going to work out that you're going to go into space and meet someone, and sometimes it's not going to work out. but you need to still keep an open heart, keep an open mind. Think of it as dating. Think of it as going on dates or going on multiple dates with the same person to really understand if you are compatible to talk. And if you are, then you are. And if you aren't, then you aren't. But that shouldn't also discourage you, right? And sometimes we just need to wait a little bit. My friendship with the friend that I mentioned is one that came about both unexpectedly for both of us. It was just going to be a work relationship, and then work became friendship, and then we just started getting closer and closer, and that was just very, very organic. It happened without even us even thinking about it, but it also happened very naturally. And sometimes that is exactly what's going to happen. So I'm going to say this again, just keep an open mind. The one thing that helped the both of us is that we kept an open mind. It wasn't that we were trying too hard. It wasn't. It was all happening very naturally because we also both wanted it to happen, and we both kept an open mind. Let's give this a try. If it works, it does. And if it doesn't, then that's perfectly fine. So those are just the disclaimers, if you want to call them that. The disclaimers I wanted to throw in there. Let's talk about where you can find friends, right? Where are you going to find people to be friends with? I'm really wanting us to break it down because I'm talking about building, budding, and beautiful friendships here. Obviously, you can apply all of this to existing friendships, especially the part about the value of friendship. You can sit down and think about, what does friendship mean to me right now, and are these things showing up in my friendships, or can I do better? And if you're looking for friendships, let's talk about it. So social media, you have platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Bumble BFF. It's like an extension of the dating websites, but it's for finding friends, or another tech platform. And social media, that's one place. It's a big place where people are connecting today, so it's not a bad idea to explore this. But I want to say that be careful of the socials, right? I definitely, I appreciate the positive impact of social media when it comes to being a place and space to make good friends, or friends in general. And I even acknowledge that I have made a friend or two online in the past, but these are waters that you need to really tread carefully in, especially because technology has shifted the definition of friendship in recent years. And you just, one click of a button, just one, you can add a friend or you can make a new connection. But having a friend who is limited to the DMs, or having a friend who is limited to just following each other, is not enough, or just commenting on each other's posts on social media, it's not enough, especially if it is a friendship that you start considering to be near and dear to your heart. And also, I'm just a bit more careful lately when it comes to who I call my friend, because the word friend carries a lot of weight. It's not as casual as we have made it to be. A friend is somebody that you can rely on, somebody that you care for, somebody that can rely on you, and somebody that cares for you. You know, it's a two-way street, and you have an actual relationship, and you see each other and you make an effort. That's a friend. Some people are just acquaintances, and that's perfectly fine. So yeah, an online friend can't hug you when a crisis hits. They cannot visit you when you're sick, and they cannot celebrate happy occasions with you. Our most important and powerful connections, they happen when we are face to face, in person. So make it a priority to stay in touch in the real world, not just online, and make sure that both of you are on the same page in wanting a friendship that isn't just online, or even one that revolves around Instagram or TikTok aesthetics, like I mentioned earlier, but something that is very real, a true connection that has a lot of substance to it. And I'm also over here, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having people online where the relationship is strictly online, but maybe don't call that person a friend because they don't even know you like that. Just be an acquaintance, just somebody whose content you enjoy seeing, somebody whose stories you like watching on Instagram or on TikTok. Let it be that. Let it just be limited to that. Something else that I just want to throw in there before I continue. Influencers are not your friends. people that you are following on Instagram who are doing this to get paid, who are your views, they get paid off of your views, off of your interactions, are not your friends. I like hearing people talk very loosely and casually, or not people, influencers will do introductions like, hey bestie, or hey friend, or they'll say things like, I love you, you're great, you're so amazing. And I don't like that. There's something about it that is so insincere, and it just makes me very uncomfortable. And I think we just need to be very careful. I feel like social media has desensitized us and made the really heavy things, the things that carry weight, light and casual when they aren't. And that's also where I think parasocial relationships end up happening, where it's very one-sided, that you feel like this person is your bestie, you feel like this person does love you, they do care about you. Because why would someone say I love you at the end of the video if they don't mean it? Why would someone call you a bestie at the beginning of the video if they're not wanting to be your best friend? And that's where those lines can end up being blurred. So yeah, I'm just also somebody that thinks quite a lot. So these things are things that I have given myself time to think about, and I think that we do live in a time where we take things a little too lightly when they are in fact not. So yeah, like I was saying, social media is a place, is an option to explore. You can otherwise join a gym, or you can sign up for a workshop or a class. You can volunteer with a local nonprofit. Find a church and join that church. Let that be a space where you potentially build community. Or if you are already part of a church, make an effort to connect with other congregants to see if you can potentially explore friendship with one or two people, right? You can also join a book club or attend networking events, or you can take up a new hobby. And when you're taking up a new hobby, you are going to be in a space with other people, and with us as people, because of it's built in our DNA. We are drawn to one another. So what will most likely happen is you'll just strike up a conversation with someone, and there it is. And you find that you get along, or that there's something there, and you can go for tea, or you can go for a walk, and it can go from there. Or you can participate in community events. That's another way to make friends. That is another great way to make friends. So because we are building a friendship here, maybe let's just say you found someone, or we're building friendships or solidifying friendships here. Now you found the people, or you have reconnected with the people. It could be that you even run into an old high school friend or old university friend in those spaces. Now we want to solidify this, right? So you've identified this person or these people, and you've decided that you want to get to know them. So how are you going to go about doing this? How are you going to build this on from your side? Mindset is very important. Tell yourself that you want this. Tell yourself that you are committed to doing this. Tell yourself that you are wanting to expand on your community, or you are wanting to put yourself out there a bit more. But keep an open mind, like I said. Commit to making an effort. Make time in your schedule. Plan the get-togethers. If you are somebody that is very busy and you are wanting community, you want a person, you want people to share this life with, then you're going to have to make an effort. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Like I also mentioned, maybe you are already in relationships and you just want to solidify them, or you want to even be introduced to another friend through a friend. That's another option that you can explore. You can ask your current friend or friends or acquaintances to introduce you to people that they might know, or you can reach out to that person that you spoke to that one time and then nothing ever came of it, but you could tell that this could be a good friendship, right? That's another way that you can do it. Keep a positive outlook about things. Be optimistic. The other thing is to spend as much one-on-one time together. So this is very, very important. The point of relationship, of calling each other friends is so that you can be there for each other, so that you can help each other grow, so that you can become better people together, and so forth. So spend as much one-on-one time together with this person, with these people, so that you can properly get to know each other. Be intentional about the activities you are doing when you spend that one-on-one time together. So not just sitting down to eat, but playing, painting, just sitting outside, having ice cream and enjoying nature. And be in spaces that give you a chance to talk and to share different things about one another. I am just remembering something that I wanted to mention here when I'm talking about the activities. I know that some people say that they don't want to explore friendship or actually do something about this longing that they have because it's expensive. And I understand where you are coming from, and I agree with you to a certain extent. But when you have found a good person or you have found good people, it is not going to be about how much money you are paying or how big the thing it is that you are doing. It's going to be about connecting with one another. And people that are good people that have good hearts, are going to be understanding and accommodating. So be intentional as well about looking to surround yourself with good people, not with people that are unkind and insensitive. We don't come from the same financial backgrounds. But just because you don't have the money, and just because what you're seeing on social media is not something that you can afford to do, that shouldn't discourage you to make friends, and to find people that you can hang out with, and people that are going to be understanding of the fact that we just don't all come from the same financial backgrounds, and we are going through a global economic crisis. So people are struggling to make ends meet. But listen, that doesn't mean that we should be going through life alone, okay? Make a consistent effort to show that person that you are just as invested in that friendship, even when you aren't together. So check in. Whether you do that via a voice note or a text message or phone call or video call, make sure that you are checking in with your loved one. Heck, even send them an email if it must come to that. Communicate your expectations, your likes and dislikes, the importance or value of friendship to you, and be open about it all. That's very important. Be affirming. Compliment your friend or friends. Be generous and make them feel good about themselves. Identify and acknowledge their interests and their strengths and their talents, and encourage them to pursue those things, and affirm them when it comes to those things, right? Be a safe space. Be loving. Be genuine, open-minded and honest, and let there be a very good balance of everything. If you are, for example, picking up on the fact that your friend just has very unhealthy habits, or has that one unhealthy habit that is a form of self-sabotage, sit them down and be honest, but do it with tact and do it with love. And again, be vulnerable, have discernment, of course, because when we are in the building phase, or when we are, there's a difference between when you are in the building phase and when you have an existing friendship and you just want to solidify that. You are obviously going to tread carefully because you're still getting to know that person. Don't overshare, but also don't be closed off. Don't be difficult and make it seem like this is a game that this person is playing of can I catch you or not, because that's not what it is. And just be present and make sure that you are showing this person that you want to be there. And it just doesn't end when you are in the place where you are building the foundation of your relationship. This must be continuous. So I'm calling this the reinvesting. You have to be consistent. You have to show up emotionally, show up physically, show up spiritually, mentally. Be there for that person. Be reliable. Be present. Like I said just now, make an effort. We don't ever stop making an effort when it comes to friendship. Friendship is like a romantic relationship. You need to put in all of the effort that you're putting into a romantic relationship. You must put the same kind of effort into a friendship for it to be able to last. Be thoughtful. Always be thoughtful. I was saying to my mom the other day that if someone buys me a mini cactus, okay, maybe not a mini cactus. I'm not a big plant person. But if you buy me a packet of jelly babies, or you buy me a notebook and a pen, I'm going to be grateful because of you thought of me, and you know that I like to write things down, and this is something that I need. So it's the thoughtfulness that counts. It doesn't have to be a 1,000 rand gift. It can just be the fact that you thought about it, and because you know me so well, and that shows me that you know me, that you're paying attention. So very important to be thoughtful, not just with gifts, but with how you speak to your friend, with their love languages, how you are showing up for them in those ways. Very important. Communicate. This should never stop. You need to communicate throughout. That is one thing that will really carry the friendship. And it's also really important. I'm just going to go back and say it. You need to be intentional about being around good people and being in relationship with good people, because good people are also people that are intentional about themselves. They are working on themselves. They are constantly wanting to improve how they play their role as your friend, and they are most likely going to be able to comprehend what you're saying when you're communicating with them. So it's pointless to be with somebody, be in friendship with someone who's selfish and difficult and conceited, because they won't hear you. You are going to communicate, but they will not be able to comprehend it. So communicate when you aren't feeling your best, and when you're unhappy about something, and even when you are happy about something. Talk about those things. Talk about your feelings, your aspirations, your fears, politics, social issues, money, your romantic relationship or romantic aspirations. Talk, 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 talk. Talking, for me, equals to intimacy. Letting a person in, for me, is equals to intimacy. And that brings me to my last point on this one. Be vulnerable. Be vulnerable still. Be vulnerable. Don't stop being vulnerable. It deepens the bond, and it also means that you don't have to go through anything alone, whether it's the hard thing or whether it's the amazing thing. When you are vulnerable and you share, you give people space. You give your friend space to show up for you in the ways that you most need it. So yeah, I think that in with even within having experienced friendship hurt, or just feeling like, oh, I'm too old, but I want this, or like I said, having to have gone through life alone and never having had anyone really show up for you, your own parents, your own siblings or aunts or uncles, and you have just adjusted and adjusted to the fact that, and accepted that you are going to be going through life alone. Even within all of that, you can still experience beautiful friendship, and you can still experience love in friendship that is going to carry you where you are going to be seen and heard, right? So it's very possible. It's very possible. And for the people that have existing relationships and want to solidify them, or have existing relationships and want to bring them back, you maybe were apart for a while, or you grew apart because of life, and you just had different things that were going on, but you want to reconnect and you want to rekindle that friendship. It's very, very doable. But you also need to remember that beautiful and budding friendships, they cannot be bought, and you need to be intentional. You need to intentionally work towards making them happen. So if you want it, and you really, really can see it happening, then you're going to have to work towards it. And that's going to take time and effort, and as long as you are invested, and the other person or people, if you are a group, are just as invested, you can and will make it happen. So keep an open mind and heart. Bring your best to the friendship or friendships, and be open to receiving the same from the other person or people. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely where we are ending this week's episode. I really appreciate that you were here and that you reached the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't forget to let anyone know who is interested in listening to A Cup Full, joining the community, that they can find the podcast on all listening platforms. Wherever it is that you would get your podcast, you will find A Cup Full there. I've also left links in the show notes for other platforms. It's all there. So you can definitely go on ahead and send it on, pass it on to somebody that you think might enjoy listening to the podcast. I really hope that this episode was of value to you. Please don't forget that A Cupful is also on TikTok. The handle is at acupfulllpod. You are more than welcome to DM me on the platform. You can also send me an email, it's in the show notes, or leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Let me know if you have any other thoughts. Have a lovely remainder of this week. Rest when you need to, work when you need to. Be kind to yourself and other people. Make an effort, keep an open mind, and remember that beautiful friendship exists. Beautiful friendship absolutely exists. And if you want that, you can 100% have that. Most importantly, don't forget to keep doing the things that fill your cup.